So anyway, we're doing a showcase in Audiosurf 2 where I have a playlist of 15 songs that I personally like, and I found custom themes that other people created in Steam Workshop to match them with, is kind of like finding things that work with the song. I did this once before back in November of 2022, and so this is the second one. It's a shorter playlist than last time, so hopefully it shouldn't take too long. And just like general notices, disclaimers, get this stuff out of the way. This is a rhythm music game, and I'm sure you guys know how those work. Lots of strobing, lots of flashing lights and stuff like that, so if you're sensitive to those things, this is probably not a good stream for you to watch. Just to give you a heads up on that. But whether you can hear it or not at any given moment, there's that little bar at the bottom of the screen that's telling you what the name of the theme is and what song I'm playing. So you always have that for reference down there. I made sure to have the camera on the opposite side so it's not going to block that at any point. Just so you have that. Wonder if it's got songs I like. We'll see. I'm trying to broaden things a little bit. I like to think we have more varying genres this time around than I did the first time. But Audiosurf is it favors electronic music more than anything else, I feel like, so that's what I tend to lean towards in this game. Personally, in real life, I find something to like out of most genres. I tend to lean toward rock, alternative, and electronic stuff these days. But I'm trying to have a little bit of everything, so hopefully you'll find something. If not, maybe something new that you'll like. Alright, so I'm going to start with a couple songs that probably could have been in last time, in terms of like how old they are. But the playlist last time was plenty long enough. But I saw it's interesting that back in, not just in the same year, but in the same month, two of my favorite artists, if not my two favorite artists, released new albums in March of this year. So one of them, well, they were to varying effect. The one that's going to come up later I liked a little bit more, and we're going to get to that. But this one, the first one was Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness, who, if you're familiar with him, has gone by many names over the course of time. I'm actually not going to do anything from that new album, because the new album I just kind of felt indifference toward. I mean, there were a few songs that I liked from it, but I don't think they're going to do very well in this game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to, I guess technically now it's the very first song off of the first EP that he released under his current persona, but it was actually, back when it came out, it was actually in the interim, when he was done with his previous project, Jack's Mannequin, and it was before he was officially Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness. And he just went by Andrew McMahon when this EP originally released. I think you can still see it on the album art there. Nope, they corrected it. That's funny. But yeah, they went back in and like corrected it, peppered the in the Wilderness in there to make it official. But this song's called Synesthesia, and I meant to look up the definition to get a refresher on it before this, and I didn't do that. But I think the skin that we're picking is appropriate, because synesthesia is like, the song's gonna play with it a little bit. It's about like how your brain like, I wish I could describe it a little bit better, but it's like confusing. I think it's confusing different senses, so like seeing colors with smells or something like that. And so the song is gonna play with it a little bit. But yeah, so it's also interesting that like no Andrew McMahon songs made the cut last time, because I think a month before I did that previous showcase, or maybe it was a year and a month, because it maybe was back in 2021 or maybe it was even 2020. I don't know. But I did actually go and see Andrew McMahon finally, and it was great. And the other artist who also released an album this year, I'm finally going to go see on Tuesday, and I'm very excited about that. But again, we're going to get to that. So this song is talking about confusing senses and like seeing colors and associating it with life events and things like that. So the theme I have, Prismatic Night, has a lot of color in it, a whole spectrum of color. It's all colorful and stuff. And it's just one of these overly detailed ones. And whenever we see an overly detailed skin like this, they're usually tied to the same person. And that person is Epicus Jones on Steam. They've done a few of these tonight. I think they did a couple that I did last time as well. So we can give credit to them. Definitely check their stuff out if you want some like overly detailed, crazy looking shit like what we're about to get into. And as a disclaimer, I am on high graphic settings for some later ones to show up correctly. Hopefully that doesn't put too much of a strain on my computer at this time. I've taken some precautions and X'd out of some extra things to hopefully alleviate that. I just recall it being an issue last time where at least one of the skins ended up kind of framey in the stream, and if that happens, I apologize for it. At least on my end, without streaming, everything runs decently well. But here we go. But hey, Fire Dragon, if you like anime songs, maybe you'll know this one. So I mentioned last time, I found this artist called Amelie. Actually, it should be in here. Yeah, there it is. I found this artist called Amelie who does covers of anime themes. Their stuff is on Spotify and also like iTunes, and I imagine anywhere else where you can listen to music. The neat thing is that her covers are in English, whether or not there is an English version of the original. And so last time what I did is I played her cover of Smile Bomb, the Yu Yu Hakusho theme. And I mentioned she also did one for the Paper Moon theme from Soul Eater that was a little more on the electronic side, and it was just a really cool way to change things up compared to how it's originally done. I think I didn't include it because I wanted to use that Coloricious glowing skin that I already used on like 5 songs last time. But I decided to include it this time and use a different skin that was also mentioned last time, but I did not use. So we're going to do this with... It's down at the bottom, isn't it? There it is. The Mario Kart skin. This one's a little bit simpler and not as much color changing, so hopefully this one works a little bit better for you, Fire Dragon. So I've noticed that the skins will have different names in the game and in the workshop. So here it's Mario Kart, all one word. But on the workshop it comes up, sorry, I have my list on a screen over here, so easy access, and so it's not another thing open on my computer. But on the workshop it comes up as Mario Kart Rainbow Road. And it was done by, oh my gosh, this name is kind of ridiculous. It's a ridiculous name and then a radio station for some reason. But it's, and I hope I'm not butchering this, Scrogonculus 102.8 FM. They're the ones that did this. So we're going to do Paper Moon from Soul Eater as covered by Amelie, and we're doing the Rainbow Road Mario Kart skin by Scrogonculus 102.8 FM. I think I gotta say it like the radio station did. You're now listening to Scrogonculus 102.8 FM. Alright, there we go. Alright, and now that I've sucked you in with 2 songs, how about a little country music? I just have one song. I know some people don't care for it. I just have one song. I think it works surprisingly well in the game, and it's country music, or as I like to call it, pop with an accent, because that's basically all it is at this point. But it's something I kind of have to be in the mood for, but there's a good amount that I know, and I have a history with it. So quite a few songs I could pull from. This one is one of my absolute favorite country songs, though. Joel Nichols has been around a long time, I feel like. Has a history of great hits such as Tequila Makes Her Clothes Fall Off, which is an actual song. Look it up. But this one's really, really great. I want to say it's from around 2015-ish. I like there's a surprising... So I know this isn't necessarily true, but country music kind of has like an honesty to it. Like every song feels like they're like spilling their emotional guts out for like everyone to hear. It's like a confession almost, each song. And that can come from grief, that can come from joy, like professing love for someone else, you know, something like that. But also they have a method of writing their lyrics where like the like title or like the main word of the song can have like 2 different meanings over the course of the song. Like there's one I can give you an example. There's one called Whiskey Glasses. I think it's by Morgan Wallen. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. But it's called Whiskey Glasses. You assume like glasses filled with whiskey. But he kind of does like wordplay with it, where it also refers to like these glasses, so you can see the truth. And so just like playing with it like that. There's also Scotty McCreery's Damn Straight, where it's just like a normal proclamation, but he's really like cursing George Strait because he can't listen to it anymore because it's what his former girlfriend used to like. If it was ever on The Wolf, I perhaps heard it. The country I grew up on, the storytelling, like I've been watching. Yeah, there's definitely storytelling stuff. Going back a while, I've always really liked I'm Already There by Lone Star. Was always really, really nice to me. I'm pretty sure that's the artist. And Just Another Day in Paradise, which is, I think, my actual favorite country song, but I can't remember the artist right now, and I'm sorry for that. And surprisingly, someone else is actually, like, consider the other 2 songs I just played perfectly suitable for this. but someone else has played this country song in here. I mean, this is a hit. It would be more surprising if they played something else off of this album, which I do actually have. This is kind of that. I mean, how you define love song is kind of vague, I guess. This one's kind of like a relationship forming. Just like meeting someone at a bar and just like you may not agree with them, but you want to do stuff with them. So it's just like, yeah, let's do that. It's like, you know that Jim Carrey movie, Yes Man? It's like that, but a country song. I like just thought of that off the top of my head, but that's literally what's going to happen. But I just really, really like this song. It's really great. And hopefully you will too. So for a theme, I have these Age of Metal themes. Unfortunately, won't be playing any actual metal tonight. I have a couple things that may be considered metal adjacent, depending on your definition. But I feel like these fit fairly well. So there's actually two variations. There's this ice, the one we're going to use right now, I guess I'll save the other one. We're going to do the iced edition. So it's obviously cooler colors. And yeah, I feel like it just works. Your vehicle riding along is a motorcycle, which isn't a truck, unfortunately, but it's closer. And then this skin was by... Their name is Gingerbread. It actually says it right there in the game. They don't always say that. I remember seeing that, but not sure. Also, these names, by the way, I should have mentioned that. I did, like, just before starting the stream, I went in and looked up all the names. So unless they changed their name in, like, the past 2 or 3 hours, these are the names as they are on Steam at the moment. However well that ages when it's a video on YouTube and stuff like that. But I tried to make these names as up to date as I possibly could. But Gingerbread is actually their name. The Steam name has like hyphens and underscores around it, but it's still Gingerbread. If you look up Age of Metal, you'll find it. Now it's time to hit our Owl City quota. I don't care if you like them or not. You're gonna like them. You bet your bottom dollar. And they're the other artist that released an album this year, and I got much more enjoyment out of this album than the Andrew McMahon album. And I am finally going to see Owl City on Tuesday, when they have been one of my favorites since like 2008. So that's very exciting. I surprisingly didn't do any actual Owl City songs last time, come to think of it. I think I had an EDM song from another artist that featured Adam Young, and then I had an Owl City remix of All Star, which would have been a little more poignant now, considering we actually lost the singer of Smash Mouth. the same frickin' extended weekend that Jimmy Buffett died. Like, man, lost them both in the same weekend. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, anyway, no actual Owl City last time. I am going to rectify that. I'm just doing 2 though, so we're not overwhelming. Alright, anyway. So I've got 2 Owl City songs tonight that we're gonna do. The first one is a slightly older one, so it's not from the album that came out earlier this year. It's from the album before that, Cinematic, which was released back in 2018. This is from that, yeah, and then back then a few people were still playing, and this is the kind of artist that people would play in there. But on the whole, Cinematic was just like a really big deal for Owl City. He had a couple of albums before that were just kind of, that's alright, I guess. One of them, I'm pretty sure he openly admitted to being like a kind of sellout album and like just trying to make hits to get more album sales, or like the record company forced him to do that or something like that. The one after that was better, but then this one is like really, really great. It's a very personal album, talking like a lot of personal stories from his life and things like that. This one is one of I'd say one of the simpler songs from the album in terms of like the subject matter and melody and all that, but it's just really, really stuck with me, and it's one of my favorite Owl City tracks. I think there's never a time I don't think where I don't want to listen to the song. I'm always in the mood for it. It's just so nice. And I'm pretty sure it makes a reference to An American Tail, which is always a plus. And I know, based on his more recent stuff, because I think like half of the new album is a bunch of movie references, and this one was called Cinematic, I don't think it's out of the question for that to be the case. For the theme this time, I was really torn. I think this Dusk theme technically fits a little bit better, but I think it's a default to the game, but I could be wrong on that. But I didn't want to use it for that reason. I found something pretty close, and that is slightly more colorful. I think they updated it a while back, though. Let me find it first. Okay, Mountain Highway is what we're doing. I think they updated it because normally on the corkscrews or the loops, the track wouldn't be there, so it was just kind of like you were lifting off the road and going into the sky, which I kind of liked a little bit better and kind of fits Owl City pretty well. But when I replayed it recently to test it, I think they updated it because the road is back for the loops. But oh well. So we're still gonna do it. We're gonna do Mountain Highway, and this skin is done by Rogel Dorn. That's ROGAL space DORN. And like when I typed that into a Word document, it didn't say any of it was misspelled, so that maybe it's someone's actual name or something, but it seems weird to me, but maybe I just didn't watch the right stuff. But so we're gonna do New York City by Owl City. And the skin is Mountain Highway, which was made by Rogel Dorn. Here we go. Hope you like it. the only other Owl City song I'm doing tonight is a new song from the new album, Coco Moon. The new album is so fun. Lots of movie references and things. There's a lot of cool songs in it. This song I kind of, I guess, overlooked initially, for lack of a better term. But it's just really, really grown on me more than the others, I think. I think this is going to become like this album's version of New York City, where I'm just like always in the mood for it, and it's like a total, like, this is the kind of song where, like, I don't care who you are, this song is a ton of fun, and everyone should jam out to it, because it's just so fun. And it's called Learn How to Surf, and so we gotta have a skin that gives us a surfing effect. So we have one in the game, it's just called Ocean, but if you want it on the workshop, it's called Ocean Surf, which is why I grabbed it initially. I think I was searching for surf, because, like, I needed something for the song, and that came up. I was like, perfect! Like, you even look at it, it's kind of replicating the ocean watercolor and all that. But this is by Gordon Freeman? No, they're just called Gordon. But yeah, this is a really fun song from the new album, and I really hope I get to see him play it in person on Tuesday night. It's going to be exciting. So we're going to do Learn How to Surf by Owl City on the Ocean skin, which on the workshop is called Ocean Surf, and it's by Gordon. Thanks so much, Gordon. This was just what I was looking for. Fuck you if you don't like that song. And I like to think, in a way, me playing this right now, I'm kind of like a DJ. Maybe more in like the radio sense, where like, here's this next song, and just stay tuned to Scrogunculus 102.8 FM. I'm choosing songs that I vibe with, but the hope is that hopefully you vibe with too, or get something out of. You get something out of the song, the theme, or the combination, and see what I'm going for there. Yes, that's what we're doing next. Okay, so this happened after the previous Audiosurf showcase, but last year I went to part of the reason, backing up a little bit, part of the reason why I want to do like electronic music now when it wasn't necessarily something I was looking into before, is I went to Decadence for New Year's last year, which is this huge electronic music festival they do for New Year's Eve in Denver, Colorado, and a lot of big artists were there because it's a huge deal. Like, this company puts on 2 events in Colorado per year. They have Global Dance, which is a summer thing, and then for winter they do the Decadence New Year's Festival. But it's a huge thing. There's 2 stages, 2 massive stages, and just like a ridiculous amount of people were there. And I'm pretty sure I got COVID after it because of that, because I didn't take precautions. But it was a magical experience, and just like I luckily had a brand new phone at the time, so I took like really good footage, and just like I have this sweeping shot of just one of the stages and just a ridiculous amount of people there, and I've shown it to like all the people I show it to, they're like, holy crap. But just like huge names were there. You would know like Cascade, Grizz, the reasons I went, Jai Wolf and Porter Robinson were there. Well, I also went for Grizz. Grizz was crazy. Who else was there? LS Dream, which is big in other spaces, but not necessarily with me. There was someone else big that I'm forgetting. San Holo was there. Dylan Francis. I'm still forgetting someone. Flume was there. I'm still forgetting someone. Zed's Dead was there as well. He's pretty big. But yeah, huge names. Huge names there is the point I'm trying to get across. And it was a magical experience. And to start that off, because they have 2 stages, but the closer one when you walk in, and the one I ended up staying at the beginning, the first night, because it's a 2-night thing. The first night, this artist, Cloud None, was there. Now, this isn't necessarily their song entirely. It's a song that they were like featured on, or they're partnered with. I think it's first and foremost a Mazaray song, who was not there. But based on what was played, I think I know what parts Cloud None had in this. But this wasn't the first song they played that night, but they played this song that I'm about to play, and it just jumped out at me. It was like the first iconic moment of my Decadence experience last year. And it's just a really cool song. I've looked more into both of these artists after the fact. And ironically, it's going to be another Mazaray song that I play after this, and not another Cloud None. But Cloud None is very nice. If you like along the lines of like Owl City and maybe like Porter Robinson, you may like them. A lot of their drops are kind of like really mellow and nice, which is why some of their stuff doesn't necessarily work in this game per se. I didn't get a whole lot of their stuff, but I really wanted to play this one because of what it means to me, and it's just a really cool song that stuck with me. What we are doing, yes, we're doing this one, Electrica. And remember what I mentioned, that Prismatic Night skin, and any skin that is overly detailed and crazy looking, it's going to be by the same person, Epicus Jones. They did this one too, and this one's really nice. It just has this almost heavenly glow throughout it the whole time. Doesn't change that much in terms of brightness or color palette. It does it a little bit with the blocks or the notes, for lack of a better term, but I don't know. That would bother me for some other songs, but for this one it doesn't bother me that much. There's always this kind of like heavenly note, like undertone going throughout this song. You may see what I'm talking about, you may not. So I guess it's kind of a continuation or an expression of that. But anyway, we are going to do Promises by Mazaray. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Mazaire doesn't sound right. So Mazaray and Cloud None on the Electrica skin that was made by Epicus Jones. Hope you like it. So this song came after the fact. It's a lot more recent. I forget exactly when it came out. This song came out after the fact, so when I was a little more familiar with... well, I don't know if I was all that more familiar with Mazaret, but like I saw this came out, gave it a try, and I really liked it. But it's far after the fact. I want to say it was like May of this year that this song came out, so it's fairly new. But it's left a strong impression. This is another song I think I would use for hype and stuff too. It's just got a really cool drop to it, and the verses are really great too. It's just great, right? And he's got another vocalist this time around, and you'll see that the drops sound a lot like the second drop in the Promises song that we just played. It was surprisingly difficult finding a skin that I actually liked for this song. I found one I could tolerate. We're gonna show it off. Which one is it again? Ah, okay, yeah, kind of an unexpected place here. I think I've lost this one a couple times. Where are you? Ah, you're up here, okay. Yeah, some of them move around in that menu and some don't. It's really confusing. But yeah, this one's called Neon Colors. So last time I used a skin called Coloricious Glowing, and I mentioned it's the one, basically my default skin for the game now, because I use it that much. This one might replace it. That's how good it is. Imagine if you remember that Coloricious Glowing skin, imagine that, but with kind of that wave effect that the Learn How to Surf ocean skin that we used is doing. And that's kind of what you're getting here. It's kind of crazy and awesome that it's doing both, and hopefully it isn't too much for the system. But yeah, so this one's by Virus, and all of it is capitalized except the I, so lowercase I, all the other letters capitalized. And it's Neon Colors, all one word. I think in the workshop it's still one word, but the C might be capitalized. I don't know. It's close enough. But we're gonna do Stay by Mazaret and Josh Rubin on Neon Colors by Virus. Hope you like it. These days I almost exclusively listen to the local alternative station when I listen to radio, and the 1975 are always there. They have their most recent album, which is from last year, I think, and where these songs I'm going to be playing are from. They went a more like traditional route with their sounds and stuff. It's almost like their version of Daft Punk's Random Access Memories, I feel like. It's just like, it's kind of more authentic, more toned down in some cases, but then they have some other songs that sound like their usual stuff. So I don't know. I did get the whole album, but I haven't listened to the whole thing yet. So it's quite possible I might come back and do more songs from this album. But tonight we're doing just the hits, or the 3 hits that I know of. These aren't necessarily going to be in the order that I heard them, but they're in the order of the album, which oddly enough, the 3 hits I know of are right smack dab in the middle of the album, one after another. They're just all there together, which is cool, I guess. But yeah, so this was the first one that I heard, though, part of the band. It's a really different sound to me compared to most 1975 tracks, and it's just really, really cool, really good sound. Not necessarily suited for this game, I feel like, but still interesting enough to show off, I think. This was one I probably could have removed from the playlist if I really wanted to, and was going to just test things tonight like I was originally going to, instead of just going all in. But I really wanted to do the stream. And for like the album artwork and stuff for this recent album, they're doing a whole black and white motif, so no color. And so I found some themes to go along with that. And this first one is actually pretty cool. If I can find it, there's one of them. We'll come back to that. Here it is. BMW, not the car, unfortunately. But the cool thing about this one is it has, I think they said, 50 different background portraits that it uses and alternates between. Unfortunately, it doesn't do it during the song, which would be really cool, but just like every time you play it and use it could potentially be a different picture back there, and I think that's cool. We may, hopefully the RNG gods are with us and we get a cool picture right off the bat. If not, or if I think we can do better, I may reload it a couple times. But this one isn't very intensive or flashy, but the song isn't really either, so it kind of works. The novelty of the different backgrounds was kind of enough. This one was made by Dark Elf Vampire. That's all one word, and then the D in Dark, E in Elf, and V in Vampire capitalized. And it just goes by B and W for black and white. And we're going to do Part of the Band by the 1975 on here. Here we go. Dice? I think we can do better. Hey, we're in space. All right. But yeah, if that was too toned down for you and you need to wake up again, I got you covered. Because these next two are really upbeat. And then whereas, god damn it, cursor. Alright. Whereas that one sounds really out of the ordinary for a 1975 song, at least to me. This one probably sounds the most like their usual stuff, but it's still really, really good. Like like so good. And chronologically on the album, this is the next one on the album. But to me, it's the most recent one that I know. So it's a little weird to me because of that. Okay. What time is it, by the way? That's only 10. Okay. Alright, so, and I got another black and white skin to keep with their motif. This one's called Blackout. It's kind of the basic, it's kind of like how Color Is Just Glowing would look if it was just in black and white. It's kind of the vibe I get. So it's not too fancy, but we're keeping it black and white for respect for the album and that style that they're sticking to. And this was made by 849. Their name is just numbers. 849. They made the blackout skin. And we're doing Oh Caroline by the 1975. Here we go. But if you've had enough of black and white, it's time to inject a little bit more color back into things. Just a little bit. Alright, and then this is the last of the three in terms of the album, but this was the second hit that I was aware of. So the order for me went Part of the Band, this one, and then Oh Caroline. But that's just like the order that I heard them on the radio or whatever, and who knows. But this one is so catchy it should be illegal. This one's probably my favorite of the three, but they're all super good, and I have really high hopes for this album because of it, which is why I got the whole thing. And I'm looking forward to listening to that, but all three of these songs are absolute bangers. But this one probably stuck with me the longest. And yeah, if any of the three are suitable for injecting a little more color into things, it's just like really optimistic. I'm in love with you, which makes up about like 50% of the lyrics, I think. You'll see, but for this one, this was actually an older skin that I had for a while, if I can find it. Yep, there it is. This was a skin I had for a while and decided to try out for this, and it just looks super sleek and crisp. Like it's gonna be a new favorite. I don't know if I can use it all the time, because I like the color variations and stuff with a lot of songs, but this one's really nice, and I need to find more reasons to use this. I also wanted to mention, I'm not reusing a single skin tonight from the previous showcase. These are all new skins that I either had before and didn't use, or I got for these songs, or I got more recently to experiment with. So these are all brand new. I have, well, not 25 because I reused a few, but I have a lot of other skins that I used in the previous showcase. So if you see some in there that look interesting, there's a good chance I used them in the previous showcase, and that's on YouTube if you want to check that out. At least a condensed version that I edited down and muted all the songs for so I wouldn't get copyright flagged. But you can see what the themes look like and everything, and it still has that label at the bottom so you can see what the combination is, and I explain it all beforehand, like I've been doing tonight because I just cannot stop talking. But yeah, this skin is really, really nice. It's quickly become one of my favorites. One thing I noticed is that for most of the tracks, the color variations are based on the intensity of the track. So you'll get like purples and blues when it's like calmer and softer. And then when it gets more intense, you'll get like oranges and reds. That's for the most part. Some of them change that up, and I'm good for them for doing that. I'm just giving a general idea. But for this one, I think it just kind of does like an RGB cycle, like it's the color on my mouse. I don't think the colors are tied to the intensity of the song in any way. I think it's just cycling them, which I'm not sure I like that much. I think I would prefer it if it was based on the intensity still, but I don't know. It could be a matter of preference. I still just really like how the color looks, how it's used. It may be a little bit harder to see for you, but in the thumbnail image they're solid bands on the left and right. But when it gets less intense, the middle slips away, and then it's got like two really slim bands of color on the edge. It just looks super, super nice, and I really like it. And this skin was made by... oh god. I've been dreading how to pronounce this one. It's like bracket, line, bracket, OPA. I don't know. But it's Colorful and Gray, it's called. And you should be able to find it with that. And on it, we're going to play I'm in Love with You by the 1975. Hope you have fun. So with that, we're done with the 1975. That's all I have for now, but as I continue to explore and get to know that album, could definitely see some more pop in the future. But speaking of artists returning, we're going to go back to an artist that I featured quite a bit in the first showcase, and that is The Midnight. They have an enormous catalog of really fantastic songs, and I got more of them, and so we're going to play more of them. I think last time I was restricted to one album, and this time I am not. So we're going to get to know them a little bit better. Which one am I doing first? Okay. And also, yeah, right here. Also, I am aware it is getting close to October, so the spoopy time is approaching. I think Freeform posted their official schedule for 31 Nights of Halloween on Twitter today, so that makes it official. I should switch my icons and everything over, because I have that Five Nights at Freddy's themed avatar that a friend of mine made for me a while back that looks really nice. So I should switch that back pretty soon. But anyway, last time it was done kind of after the fact, but I still had some spoopy time, some leftover spoopy time songs in there still. This time I'm doing it beforehand, and before we got our spoopy songs from other sources, there was some spooky sounding Killer Instinct music, and even some YouTube artists like DA Games and The Living Tombstone that we used. But this time, the Midnight is going to provide our spookiness. One of their more recent releases, I'll use the word releases, was an EP called Horror Show, and it's got some... normally they have... It's not that they haven't done like spooky sounding stuff in the past. We're actually going to get to one of those later. But I don't know, this had just like a different vibe about it compared to their other stuff, and it's stuck with me a little bit, even after they've released more recent stuff. They have a Heroes album that I want to say is from last year, but it didn't do a whole lot for me. This was their last release before that, and this one stuck with me quite a bit. A few of these songs are not... Some might be top 5, but they're not top 3. I played 2 of my top 3s last time, and we're going to get to another one later. But they're pretty high up there. They've stuck with me pretty well. So this first one we're going to do is called Neon Medusa. Pretty interesting imagery just those 2 words give you when put together. And what we're going to do for the skin, for a skin this time is... so I am keeping my word and using a skin that I didn't use last time, but we used something similar. They're kind of the same brand. So we used this Retro Wave Halloween skin last time. But what we're going to do is we're just going to use regular Retro Wave this time. I've used other ones like it, but I used Synthwave instead last time, and Synthwave is really, really good. I like it a lot. I actually tried this one out earlier, experimenting with some songs, and this one actually holds up a lot better than I remember too. I still don't really like how your vehicle looks on it, but it's got a lot. It has a lot going for it. You'll see. There's lots of like wireframe stuff on the sides that's freaking out during the song, and actually the colors go crazy, so Twitch might have a field day with this one if that is actually any indication of how that works. But this is made by, I'm pretty sure this is made by our good friend Simon Evo. He made quite a few of the ones we did last time. I think this is... No, he's going to be on one other one later. So he does a lot of... I think he did Synthwave and Retro Wave Halloween is why. He does a lot of these like 80s vaporwavy looking ones. Yeah, he really likes that style, I guess. But they're really cool. I can't blame him. So good job, Simon. Thanks so much for this one. We're going to show it off by playing Neon Medusa by the Midnight. Hope you have fun and let the spooky times begin. So this is from the same EP, Horror Show. These are the only 2 I'm going to pull from this particular EP, but there are at least 2 other songs on the EP that I really, really like as well. So I would definitely recommend checking this out. It would make a really good addition if you're putting together a Halloween playlist. I'm just saying. I think it's pretty good. So that's all set. And remember when I mentioned there are 2 of these Age of Metals? It's time for the other one, which is all the way down here for some reason. The 2 retro waves are together. Alright, so this is the Eclipse edition, and it's very red. So if you look at the title, it kind of works. And it's, once again, it's unfortunately not an actual metal track, but this song does mess with themes of trauma and like using trauma to your advantage, and mentions cutting people's heads off and holding them up as a prize, metaphorically, I hope. But so dark subject matter is the idea. Pretty metal subject matter, I would say. And this one was made by the same person who did the ice theme, and that is Gingerbread. And it says it right there. Normally it doesn't say it there, so I'm not used to just looking there for the credit, but the credit is there in this particular case. I wish they would all do that. It would make my job a lot easier. Would be a pain to update that, though, if they changed their Steam names frequently. But, yeah. So we're going to do Good in Red by The Midnight on the Age of Metal skin, Eclipse Edition, an Audiosurf 2 skin made by Gingerbread. Kind of ironic we're doing, like, more Halloween-themed stuff, but the skin was made by Gingerbread, and that's more of a Christmas thing. More like holiday. And also, no one's played... Well, I think they played Neon Medusa, because Neon Medusa is pretty popular. This one's a little less popular, but I like it a lot. And hopefully you will as well. I mentioned that I probably played 2 of my top 3 last time, because I'm pretty sure Jason is my number 1, and then Sunset is probably my number 2, and I played both of those last time because they were on the same album. This one is probably my number 3. This one is just like really descriptive and has like such a vibe. It just like paints a really cool picture, in my opinion. And take a minute to look at this album art, because I'm really excited about this skin, because the skin that I found is so perfect for the color scheme on this album art here. It's gonna be so nice. It's just absolutely perfect. It sets the perfect vibe, and I tend to lose it in here quite a bit. There it is. Kind of an unexpected place, but Blue Flame is the one that works for this. It shows up as Blue Flame on here, but on the workshop when I checked earlier, it was actually Blue Green Pyro is what it comes up under. If you'd like to get it, and it is made by DruArk. That's D-R-U-A-R-K. But it's a really, really cool one. It kind of sticks to just 2 color palettes and alternates between them depending on intensity. But I just really love that they're perfect for this song. And just like perfect to match this album art. So ingrain this album art in your brain, and then keep that in mind for what you're about to see. But we're gonna do Shadows by The Midnight, and this is off of their Nocturnal album. It might be an EP, but it's a lot earlier. It's from 2017. I think their earliest thing was in 2016, so this was pretty early on for them. But the vibe was still strong back then, for sure. But this is Shadows by The Midnight on Blue Flame or Blue Green Pyro by DruArk. Thanks, DruArk. This one's perfect. god. Oh, new record! Oh shit! I was like 4th before. That's awesome. Oh man. But yeah, I should be going to see this man in November. And I've fallen in and out of interest with Madeon. His last full album, Good Faith, was really, really good. And since then, he's been on a tour called Good Faith Forever, but it's ending, so it's not forever, I guess. But he's done a few new songs since that album. He's done The Prince. He's done Love You Back. I was trying to remember the name of the song before this one. Love You Back is also pretty good. But then this one is in a whole other league. This is like the greatest song I've heard from him. And he was holding it hostage for the longest time. So this is a song that he'd been playing live for months, up to maybe even a year before it was released earlier this year. Maybe even as early as a month or two ago. He released it in 2 different versions. There was a regular version that was just going to be good. It was only like 3-ish minutes and kind of felt underwhelming, because how I know it is from the live performances. I haven't actually seen him in person yet, but I had a couple of I've seen a couple live performances. Like, he did Coachella in 2022 and put on a great big show. And he has like a whole extended live version of the song that he's been playing for the longest time, and it's just, it's not that much of a reach into say it's almost like a religious experience seeing the live performance of this song. Like, if you have not heard of this song before, or even like Madeon before, look up a live performance of this song. Like, seriously, do it. I'm not asking. I'm telling you. It's an incredible experience what he puts on. It was the regular version of the song that he put out was just like nowhere close to that, but this is at least the length of what it is, and it still gives me like chills to listen to. It's like that good of a song. I'm gonna try and emulate that with the skin here, but it's really not gonna come anywhere close, and I just highly recommend, if you take nothing else away from this showcase tonight, please look up a live performance of this song. And then I'm also a little scared because the skin that I saw it at the top earlier. There it is. The skin I picked for this, it lags a bit when I first load in when I'm not streaming, and so I'm very concerned about how it's going to run while I'm streaming. I think it's fine after the initial load. I hope it is. But we're going to see how it goes. And it's 80s looking and vaporwavy, so who's it by? Simon Evo? You're partially correct. Simon Evo and Classified, who also came up a few times last time. I'm not entirely sure which ones. They were normally paired up with someone else, though. I think it was Lasser Lawrence. So it was never a Simon Evo collab, so this is interesting. But yeah, Classified and Simon Evo, and we're going to be doing Gonna Be Good, the live edit on the skin. Let's try it out, and I hope you like it, and I hope it doesn't get framey, but it might. So that was originally going to be the last one, but that weird, that weird fade out that it does at the end kind of leans toward there being another last song after it. And he did play one more song after it live, so this is the part where I need to warn people. We've been through a lot tonight. We've some triggering artists and genres, some Owl City, some country, some anime. But I feel like 10-minute Coldplay song is maybe the one that deserves get out while you still can, if you can't handle it. But that's what we're going to be ending on, because you really can't put a 10-minute Coldplay song anywhere else other than the end, can you? But this was on their most recent, and I think according to what they said at the time, last album, Music of the Spheres, which was like interstellar, like planet themed and stuff. Music from all kinds of different planets, and this is the end track on the off of that. And according to one of the concert videos I watched for the tour, it's their new favorite song to perform live. So the opposite of how Andrew feels about Constantine. If you know, you know. But he started playing that again too, apparently. But Coloratura is the name of it, and it's actually really cool. Even though it's 10 minutes long, it kind of, I don't know about flies by, but it doesn't really feel like a whole 10 minutes. But it's my favorite song from the album, definitely, and it's stuck with me a lot. And it's up there as one of my favorite Coldplay songs, although that's kind of a tall order. But it's like top 10, which is good enough, I feel like. I was originally going to do, this Imaginarium one, which is very interesting. It's kind of like a weird imagination nighttime version of the roller coaster skin that I used last one. There it is. I used that in the last showcase for a Skylar Spence song. I was originally going to use that, but it's like holiday themed. There's like snowflakes and snowmen, and we're not quite there yet, and it doesn't really suit the song. But I found this reverse theme that I have, and since Music of the Spheres is themed around like music from different planets and stuff, there's at least a planet in the background, and we're like in space, so it'll be close enough, and it does a little more with color grading and variation than Imaginarium would. So we're going to do that. And Reverse is made by Classified again, and then Kyanite as well. I don't know how these collaborations work with Audiosurf skins, but it's nice that they're giving credit where credit is due, I guess. So this is your last chance. If you can't tolerate 10-minute Coldplay song, you may want to leave, but you're in for quite a finale if you're able to stomach it. To me, I sort of understand that some people don't like Coldplay, but to me, they have so many good songs over such a long tenure that it's almost impossible to not like at least one. Like, even the people that hate Coldplay, I gotta be like, there's gotta be at least one that you like. Like, there's no way that they all slip past. But we're doing Coloratura by Coldplay on the reverse skin made by Classified and Kyanite in collaboration. So without further ado, let's finish this showcase off. Well, that is the 15-song playlist, and somehow it took basically just as long as a 25-song playlist last time, so I did something wrong to do that. I'm sorry, I thought I was being efficient. I will probably do another one of these, because there's always more music, especially if I get an optical drive that works. There's more workshop stuff, even some more skins I have that I haven't shown off yet, or I haven't found a song that fits. But there's always more to do in this. I feel like I could play this forever. It's just so satisfying to me. So I'll probably come back. And if you're still here, we started from Synesthesia, did Paper Moon, yeah, New York City, Learn How to Surf, Promises, Stay, Part of the Band, Oh Caroline, I'm in Love with You, Neon Medusa, Good and Red, Shadows, Gonna Be Good, the live edit, and Coloratura. So if you're still here, if you've been lurking in the chat, I'd love to know which track was your favorite. Or maybe there was a song you didn't like as much, but there was a skin that we played it on that you liked more. But that's it for now. I think big thanks to everyone who stopped by. We had more people than usual. I guess Audiosurf 2 is kind of popular that way. Thanks everyone for stopping by, for new subscribers and well, followers. Subscribing is a different thing. New followers, new people in the chat. Thanks so much, and hope you have a good night.